Brains: How Students Retain Knowledge Through Memory, a 5-minute foray through Chapter 6, created by Karen Walker on the 23rd of November in the year 2019. In today's presentation, I will be breaking down the information processing model, identifying effective teaching strategies based on this model, and looking at some of the common myths about brain function. I chose this subject because in a previous career, I worked in a long-term living facility for memory care patients. It is one of the more interesting positions that I have held. I hope you enjoy this graphic. I built it myself. This is the information processing model, or the executive process. Your body is constantly interacting with the environment around it through your 5 senses. This stimuli converts information into your sensory memory. Most of this information is irrelevant. Like if you walk into a cold room and then into a warm room, the cold room is no longer relevant to your memory, and this information is discarded. The things in your environment that you pay attention to are converted into your working memory. This is the part of your memory that is most often affected when you have dementia or Alzheimer's, because this part of your memory can only store about 9 to 12 things. If you're lucky, some of us, it stores less. Now, in order to take that information in your short-term memory, things that you are just newly exposed to, you have to rehearse the information. It has to occur to you more than once, or you have to think back on it before you actually retain the memory. This process is called encoding. Once something is encoded, it is converted into long-term memory. Unrehearsed information is kicked out of your system, out of your brain, at the working memory or short-term memory phase. Now, the things that you remember, the things that you're supposed to hold on to, they make it into your long-term memory. In these situations, when you're older, you, and in most people with dementia, they will have no memory of things that happened a week ago, a day ago, even an hour ago, but they will remember things from their childhood. I worked with a lot of sweet little old ladies in their 90s, and every single one of them had pictures that they just absolutely loved to show you of themselves in the 30s on the beach in California in a bikini. It was great. This is the overview of the information processing model. Let's continue and look at ways that this can help us as teachers. Schema, practice, summarizing, writing to learn, and the PQ4R method are some of the techniques that we learned about for converting things to long-term memory. The PQ4R method is actually my favorite because by previewing and questioning it, you are activating your senses and preparing yourself for the lesson ahead. Then reading it is putting it into your short-term memory. And then reflecting, reciting, and reviewing is rehearsing it for your long-term memory. This is a form of practice. Practice is a form of rehearsal. By repetition, you will convert the information to your long-term memory. Summarizing and writing to learn is basically taking the information that you already know and reconstructing it, which means you have to think about it, which is another form of rehearsal, which will also convert it to long-term memory. Schema is another interesting factor. Schema is like knowing that red metal is hot, and therefore when you see it again, you will associate it with a previous item that is hot. It's like knowing that horses sleep standing up. So you automatically assume that zebras do too because they are very similar to horses. This is using the knowledge that we know of the mental process to use things that we are exposed to convert it to long-term memory. I am going to conclude this presentation by identifying some things that just are flat out not true. There is no such thing as being right-brained or left-brained. You use every hemisphere in your brain to keep you a functioning human being. We're all just intelligent in different ways. The best way for anybody to learn is through ways that stimulate all of their senses. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.